J.R. Romano here with the Connecticut Republican Party. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about what's happening in the state of Connecticut with the gubernatorial race, but I would be hard-pressed to not talk about what is the epitome of the lack of understanding of the fiscal crisis by the Democrats and the bureaucratic agencies in the state of Connecticut. Once again, the director of culture becomes a topic of conversation. So back a few months, the director of culture was a position that was created in the middle of our fiscal crisis where school budgets were getting slashed, hospital budgets were getting slashed, but the state of Connecticut thought it was important to create this position called the director of culture. And again, I'll just remind everyone, it literally sounds like a position out of the Communist Manifesto. Anyway, the person left only after a few months of being in that position. And guess what? In an attempt to fill that position before the election, the Economic Development Agency is trying to fill it almost immediately. And I'm shocked at this. Joe Arasimowicz and I, we have our disagreements. He actually agrees with me on this, that position should not be filled. And this is the best part. There's two things that amazes me about this state. The first is you have Ned Lamont. Ned Lamont has come out publicly in support of this position. We are facing a $2 billion budget deficit, and this man is trying to tell the world that he is going to be able to manage this fiscal crisis, yet lacks the courage. He lacks the courage to call out an inflated, bloated bureaucracy and calling to not fill a position called the director of culture. And this is the best part. This is the best part. People within that nonprofit world have emailed the campaigns trying to explain how important the position is. Here's the email. Can you believe that? Trying to justify the fact that this state has an over-bloated bureaucracy. When we're looking at slashing municipal budgets, education budgets, you have people within this organization and these state agencies that don't understand what's happening. Your taxes are going to go up if Ned Lamont wins. Because if he lacks the courage to take on this director of culture position, what's going to happen when you actually have hard decisions to make? Joe Arasimowicz says this isn't a good position to fill. So what amazes me is they actually speak in this position as though it's important. No. What's important are social workers, teachers, police, fire. Those are important positions. Those are things that we need. This position is a want. In the minds of these agencies, it's like saying the roof needs to be fixed, but don't worry, we bought an expensive painting for the wall. What no one in Hartford understands is that we are in crisis. And that's exactly why we need Bob Stefanowski as the next governor of the state of Connecticut. Bob has talked about this explicitly. And I know it's very hard for Democrats to understand, particularly elected Democrats, but let me break it down for you. Bob has stated in order to pay for a tax cut, he is going to eliminate 5% of waste, fraud, and abuse. 5% represents $1 billion. $1 billion tax cut. I think Bob can get there. And we, as average, hardworking families, need to understand Ned Lamont lacks the courage to literally request that a position not go filled entitled the Director of Culture. How is he going to have the courage to take on the unions when it comes to renegotiating the CBAC deal or when it comes to cutting any other of these bloated budgets? No, he's going to raise your taxes. We know he's going to raise your taxes. He stated it early on in his gubernatorial campaign, but then he got some polling back that said people don't want higher taxes. So now he's trying to finagle it and say, oh, I'm going to have a statewide property tax, and don't worry, it's going to lower this. We've heard this song from Democrats before. Remember Obamacare, how they told us it was going to make health insurance more affordable? It hasn't. And just like Ned Lamont, all of these ridiculous schemes that he has is only going to exacerbate the problem because he lacks the simple courage to take on agencies like an art agency. We're not even talking about like prison guards here. We're talking art agency, and he's unwilling to call them out for a complete waste of a position. This is what's wrong with our state, and I need to remind everyone, this is what's at stake for the future of the state. Please, if you haven't donated to Bob's campaign, please do. If you haven't donated to us, please do. If you haven't volunteered, go out and make some phone calls. Knock some doors for our local state senate and state rep candidates. Because if we don't do something now, if we don't act, we will get Ned Lamont. And your taxes will go up. And Connecticut's fiscal collapse will only continue. We need Bob Stefanowski to be the adult in the room. Because God knows the guy from Greenwich who's unwilling to take on the Arts Commission is not going to be willing to take on state unions. And that's a reality. Oh, and for anyone out there thinking of voting for Oz Griebel, understand, a vote for Oz is a vote for Ned. And I'm going to say this again, and anyone out there that's a Republican and a big Bob supporter, you need to tell your friends and family, a vote for Oz is a vote for Ned. No matter how many excuses Oz makes, what we're looking at are Oz Griebel and Ned Lamont will raise your taxes. They're going to give you tolls. Don't let them steal this. It's too important. So get out there. I hope to see you on the campaign trail in the next few weeks, because you know what? With your help, we're going to win this. Enjoy your night. Vote Republican and take back Connecticut.